Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going through a quick Coinigy tutorial. If you don't have a trading software set up yet, I strongly suggest that you get one. All technical analysis, understanding support and resistance levels, saving watch lists, setting price alerts, even if you want to import API keys from all your different exchanges into Coinigy so you don't have to log in and make trades manually from each exchange. Coinigy is going to be the software to do that. A lot of questions I get with new traders, even fairly experienced traders, is how to use the shortcuts and different features within Coinigy. So we're going to take a few minutes here today and just talk about that. This video is brought to you by Satoshi Saints. Feel free to check us out at www.satoshisaints.com. There'll be a link to sign up for Coinigy using our referral account. It'll give you a little bit of a discount. In addition to that, you'll find a link to all the information for us and the referral link as well down below in the description. So let's get started. Coinigy, what I really like about this is, in particular, it's geared towards just cryptocurrency trading. It doesn't have any other equities or traditional markets, no bonds, doesn't have futures or options, doesn't have equities, of course. It's just cryptocurrencies and tokens. So it's real structured, it's real streamlined. Once you understand how to use it, you'll be able to navigate much quicker and your life will be a little bit easier, and you can get down to the brass tacks of actually placing your trades and understanding what you're looking at. So the first thing that I like to focus on here is this markets tab up here at the top. This market tab is right here where you are going to see your charts, okay? There's a few different ways in which you can calibrate this, but first what I'd like to do is just start with some of the basics. Right here, your drop down, you have each of the time frames that are allocated. Really the ones that I like to focus on for trading purposes are the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 12 hour, and the 1 day. Anything below the 1 hour just includes a lot of the noise and the minute-to-minute price actions and swings and fluctuations that may not necessarily be relevant to most traders unless you're rapidly scalping different trades, getting in and out of positions multiple times throughout the day. So we really like to focus on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 12 hour, and the 1 day. Anything beyond the 1 day is just too large of a time frame. You can't really get too good of a feel for what you're looking at and put your finger on the pulse of the chart. If you want to star these and favorite them, come right here and you just simply favorite them, okay? And it's going to add it right there, so you can just click them real easily each time, okay? So that's how we do that. And then if you want to unstar them, you'd come right here, you'd unstar them, and then it just takes them away. Okay, one important thing to note when you're looking at these different hourly time frames and daily time frames is whatever chart you're on right here is the 1 hour. So what you're looking at is each one of these candles represents 1 hour, okay? And you can see that by this little countdown timer right here. So currently on this chart, we have 35 minutes and 30 seconds left to go on this 1 hour candle. So each candle represents 1 hour, okay? And you can also see that down here as well. It counts down 1 hour, so 10, 9, 8, 7, so forth and so on. Just to give you guys a demonstration, the 4 hour represents each candle as 4 hours. And again, you can see how much time is left on the most recent candle by looking right here. So there's 35 minutes left on this 4 hour candle. So whatever time frame you're looking at, that's the time frame of each candle on the chart. So right here, each candle represents a 24-hour period, which is 1 day. All right, that's very important to know. The next thing that I want to cover with you guys is to make sure that you understand how you can set different candles. You can set different colors, whether they're hollow or not. You can also use a line chart or a bar chart. So right here, you have your bar chart. Candles like we had what we started with, hollow candles, okay, you can do a line chart, so on and so forth. We really want to stick to the candles because it provides the most information in terms of where the price is opening and closing at on that candle, and we can talk a little bit more about candlesticks in our next session. The next most important thing that you guys want to be able to understand is how to set your watch list. So right here to the left and right hand side, there's a toggle pane right here. Okay, using the toggle pane to the left, what you have here is you have all the exchanges that Coinigy is synced with. Okay, and then to the right are all the coins on that exchange that you've selected. In this case, we're on Bitfinex, that are listed on that exchange. What's really important is you want to start building your coin watch list so you don't have to manually search for the exchange and then scroll through all these different coins that maybe you're not necessarily interested in. So how do you do that? Well, first you pick what exchange you want. In this case, we'll use Binance. Okay, and then here's all the coins that are listed on Binance. All right, so if we wanted to take a look at Aeon BTC pair, you click that. Okay, and we're on the 1 day chart right now. So just to give you guys a better view, we're going to go to the 1 hour. And then over here in the upper right hand section, you have a star. Okay, I've already got that favorited in my watch list. So if I unfavorite that, you get a green pop-up box to the lower right hand corner that tells you it's been removed from your favorites. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you star that coin, and then look, you'll get another confirmation box in the green here that's going to say that it's been added to your watch list. Then what you do is you come back over here, click the star button above your exchanges under markets, and it's going to populate all the exchanges that you have coins saved for. Now what I recommend is don't get in the habit of just setting your watch list up for coins that you're currently in. Set your watch list up and favorite your coins on the different exchanges that maybe you're interested in and you want to watch, maybe set price alerts for. You can see here that on multiple exchanges, I've got a lot of different coins saved, but this is still a fraction of what's available on Binance, so that saves me a ton of time. In Bitfinex, I've got coins saved, Bitstamp, BitMEX, Bittrex. Okay, so that's how you do that in terms of setting your watch list and exchanges that you frequently are going to be placing trades on and you want to watch. Each exchange obviously has different liquidity for the same coin, although the price movement in action is going to be pretty similar in relative to the overall movement of the coin within that market. If we take the toggle pane to the right hand side, halfway down the screen there, it's going to pull up a box with a lot of different information and data points. We're just going to highlight the few that are worth looking at in the beginner tutorial. The first one is data. All right, and what we're looking at here is we're looking at the order book. And on the top, we've got all the people that are placing orders to sell the token at different price points. And additionally, you've got the bids, people that are placing orders to buy the coin at different price points, above or below where the current price is right now. To the right-hand side, these are the executed trades that are happening in real time. It's aggregating that data, okay? Additionally, if you want to see a visual representation of what the order book is, and this is where you may have heard people talk about seeing and identifying buy walls and sell walls, what you can do is there's 3 boxes at the top here, okay? The far right box, the third box from the left, click on that, and this is going to give you a visual representation right here of what you see in the order book as well, okay? And that'll also list all the bids in the order book in one section and all the asks in the order book in one section. If you want to clearly identify where a buy or a sell wall may be placed by several large orders, whales, what have you, you simply click this button right here and it's going to show you where these buy walls and sell walls are. And if you'll notice right here, Coinigy is also going to auto-populate where those buy walls and sell walls are. Right, so right here we see a decent sized buy wall for 6.8 BTC at a price point of 3301 Satoshis. All right, and it's also going to give you that information right here as well. Now this is going to fluctuate and change. The strategy on how to read the order book and understand buy walls and sell walls and the cleverness and some of the trickery that larger traders, maybe institutions at this point in crypto, will use to maybe throw you off your position or make you think price is going to move in one direction or another. That's a separate session which we'll get into in a later video tutorial. Right now I want to focus on exposing you to the tools and the resources within your Coinigy account so you can be more prepared in how to use it and dive in later. Okay, we're going to go back to our chart and keeping this toggle pane open to the right hand side. The next most important thing that I'd like to share with you guys is the alerts button. Now, if you want to set a price alert for when a coin is going to move up or down in a certain direction at which you may want to sell, or which you may want to place a bid at, predicated on some technical analysis in reading the charts that you've done, here's a great place to do that. So for BTC, it's encountered quite a bit of resistance. We can see here at this price level, roughly, okay, and let's say that you determine that price needs to break out above this level, and then in which case you would place a bid at, but you want to have an alert so that you're notified when it does that automatically. How do you do that? Real simple. You just come here to alerts, find the price point that you want. We're in Aeon, so 360508. So you go 36508, and you can have some notes. Price breaks resist. Okay, and then you can set your to notify you, and then right there you set your alert, and it's going to give you a notification in the lower right hand corner, just like you saw the green pop-up, that's going to tell you that that's been confirmed. Okay, you can delete it if you want right here. What I want to share with you guys is if you're on your Binance account and you're logged in, your Coinigy account and you're logged in, you're going to get that alert on your desktop. But what if you're driving or you step away from your computer for a few minutes and your price alert goes off and you're not at your Coinigy, you're not in your Coinigy account at your desk to receive it? They have an option where you can set text SMS alerts as well as email alerts. So how you do that is you come over here to settings in the upper right hand corner, scroll down to the second option, preferences. Okay, and then from there, just make sure for price alerts and for trade alerts, you have email and or SMS text message alerts set, and you'll be able to get that as well. And when you first create your account and you log in, make sure that you have your phone number registered on there. And then when you click these SMS boxes, you're going to automatically get it. For your email, you use that to create your account and register. So if that box is selected, it'll automatically send that to you. And then make sure you hit your save preferences, and you'll get another notification there in the bottom right hand corner. So again, coming back to markets in the upper left hand corner, we've covered how to set price alerts, how to calibrate your settings in terms of where those price alerts and trade alerts come to. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because we don't need it right now. A couple other things to note here within this toggle panel to the right hand side is Coinigy is really good about giving a brief description on what the project is. Just a heads up, some of these projects are extremely new. Not all of the, under the economy tab, not all of the descriptions for these coins are filled out. However, I've noticed that many are. Notes, if you want to add a note here about what you like about the project, some upcoming catalyst events, things about the token supply or distribution schedule, whatever it is that you think is relevant to help you gain an edge or an advantage relative to placing trades or exiting a position, right here is where you do that. And then you just hit save notes. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay. On the right under here, under the coin description and the current price, it's going to give you what the lowest bid is. The lowest bid right here, and what the highest bid is, and the ask and the bid as well right here, and the spread. Okay, and this is the volume currently being traded on the Binance exchange for this particular coin, not the overall market for this coin over across any exchanges that it's listed on. So the spread, SPR, what does that mean? So the spread's fairly important, and we can talk a little bit more about strategy on the importance of that, but real simply what that is the spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. Okay. When that's really large, that can give you some good information. When it's tightening, it means that there's more of an agreement on the current price between the buyers and the sellers, aka the bids and the ask. So the spread is the difference between the bids and the asks. Okay, so we'll toggle that over. The next thing I want to cover with you guys is this is arguably the most important feature within Coinigy, because it's going to give you the best information relative to the indicators that you're using, and that is how to set indicators on your chart. Okay, So where you're going to go when it's time to set indicators, whatever it may be, is you're going to come over here to this mini graph in the upper left-hand corner, select indicators, and for demonstration purposes, we'll keep it simple. We'll go relative strength index. You click that. You just click out of that. Click to the side. That box will go away. Okay, now you have your RSI indicator, and it's going to load it into a different into a different panel below your chart. Okay, the next step that you guys are going to want to do is any indicator that you add, there's going to be 3 boxes to the right-hand side of that indicator. This first box is show or hide. Okay. The next box, which is where you're gonna calibrate your indicator, because these are just standard default settings, and it's really important that you not only have the indicator and you know how to use it, but it's calibrated properly to give you the information that you need relative to the position or trade that you're trying to take. So the middle box is format. We'll click that. Okay, and you got two options right here. You got inputs and style, and this is going to be the input and the style are going to be universal for any indicator that you have, so it's consistent. So the first one is length. If it's the RSI, I can tell you right now you can leave that at 14. That's fine. Under style though, you can change this middle line right here under plot to whatever color you want. Okay. I like to keep mine at yellow, and then this scroll bar right here is going to increase the thickness or the thinness of that line. Okay, and you got 3 options to go to the right: 1, 2, and 3. So I keep mine at 2/3 thickness. This is going to allow you to change what kind of information that RSI line histogram information is. Okay, so I like to stick to line. Okay, and then your upper limit and your lower limit, if we're using the RSI, for example, this is your overbought and your oversold conditions. Again, you can change the color of those lines, right? You can see here that I have mine as just a standard white. And again, you can change the thickness of those upper or lower limits. And you can also change if it's a dotted line, thick dotted line, or just a regular line. Okay, I like to keep mine at a straight line. Now, some of these indicators have different calibrations in terms of the number settings. I don't want to dive too much into that, but right here is where you're going to change that. So I have mine right now for my RSI overbought, oversold, which is the upper lower limit, as 75/25. If you want to change that to 80 and 20, you can see here that it adjusts those lines to 80 and 20. Click OK, and then right here, see the lower line is at 20 and the upper line is now at 80. Okay. A little trick: once your indicator is set, you can also right click on the indicator. Okay, make sure that you click on the actual line format. It's going to bring you to the same thing and do the same function as clicking on this box right here. It's just a little shortcut. Okay, so I'll move that back to 75 and 25. Okay, now for whatever indicator you use and whatever your settings are that you calibrate, every time you log out and log back into your Coinigy, if you don't save the template, okay, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. If you don't save the template, you're gonna have a naked chart, and you're gonna have to re-add your indicators, and you're gonna have to reset your settings, whether it's colors, whether it's the style of the line or histogram, the overbought, oversold. All of that's gonna go away if you don't save the indicator template for the chart. So we'll talk about how to do that here as well too. If this is what you wanted right here on your chart, you just wanted one indicator, okay, what you would do is you'd come to the drop down arrow under study templates to the right of the indicator tab. Okay, you click save indicator template as, and you would just name this whatever you like, in this case RSI. Okay, and then when you click save interval, it's going to save whatever time frame that you're on right now. So if we're on the 1 hour, it's going to save that as the 1 hour. Okay, so then you hit save. Okay, what you want to do is you want to refresh your screen to make sure that it took. Okay, and then to check to make sure that you have that, come down here, RSI, so it's on there. Now, every time I log out and log back in, this template is saved. I don't have to recalibrate my settings. I don't have to change the colors or the numbers, anything like that. And whatever coin that I'm on, it's going to automatically populate. Okay, so that'll save you a ton of time and a ton of headache. We can add some more too. So for example, if you wanted to add a different indicator, now this RSI indicator is already saved, right? So you just delete that, okay, and you want to add a separate one. Let's say you want to add Bollinger Bands. Okay, you'd add Bollinger Bands to that, and then same thing. What you'd want to do is you want to come over here to the indicator, click the Format option. Okay, you can leave the inputs alone for Bollinger Bands, that's okay. And then under Style, you can change this to whatever color you want, right? So the middle line in the Bollinger Bands is green now, and we have it thick. The upper limit, let's make that red. Lower limit, the upper and lower limits on the Bollinger Bands, I like to keep the same color and the same thickness. The plot background, you can see here, it's going to increase that. You don't want it so thick that it interferes with what your actual candles are. So you want to keep that a little bit lighter. You know, maybe something like that would be fine. And then also don't forget to click Save as Default. So now these settings right here will be default, even if something happens and your template gets deleted. All you'd have to do is go back and add Bollinger Bands. But when you add the Bollinger Bands, the colors, the thickness of the lines, the plot background, all that will be saved. So you click Save as Default, hit OK. Now, if you want to add multiple indicators to your chart, you just would keep going. So if I wanted to add, you know, RSI to my Bollinger Bands, okay, that's how I would do it. And then notice, because I clicked Save as Default previously, my settings for the RSI instantly pull up, and now I'm just adding that to my template. So if I like what I'm looking at right here, maybe I want to go to the 4 hour and save that. Okay, I want the RSI in the Bollinger Bands. Come over here to Study Templates. Same thing, save indicator as, say RSI B bands. Okay, save interval. We're on the 4 hour time frame, so we'll save that. Hit save. Refresh your screen. And we'll come over here to template and make sure it's saved. So here's the two study templates that we've saved now. Okay, so we're on a naked chart, RSI and Bollinger Bands. I pull that up. Okay, in any time frame you choose, it's still gonna save, but it's gonna default to this time interval that you chose, which is the 4 hour in this case. Okay, so that's how you get your indicators on there, and it's consistent all around. The next most important thing before we wind this down that I want to show you guys on this first edition of Introduction to Coinigy tutorial is using the tools to mark your chart. So what I want to do here is I want to hide the Bollinger Bands. We'll keep the RSI. And again, just a neat little trick here. If you want to get rid of this, it's just kind of cluttering your screen, you don't like it, you just click the minimize box and it's going to close these out. Let's talk about your tools to mark up your chart and identify different levels or support and resistance. You can use trend lines, all sorts of different stuff. You can write text and call out boxes. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So right here, each of these options has a toggle arrow that you can expand it. So you don't want to click right in the box, click just to the right of it, and it's going to give you different options. So trend line, you click on trend line, and let's say you wanted to identify, you know, where a certain support or resistance level is, click and then drag, okay? And you can go in any direction for as long or as short as you want. So in this case, we're trying to identify support or resistance rather, okay? And you can change the color to anything that you like. You can change the thickness of the line. Okay, you can change whether it's a straight line or a thick dotted or a thin dotted. Okay, in this case, I really like to stick to the straight line. Okay, and so if you really like that, and I use it a lot, you can star that. Okay, another one that I use is the horizontal line. So this is good maybe on higher time frames. So if you're on the daily chart and you wanted to draw a line straight across the whole chart, that's how you would do that versus dragging short or long lines. Same thing, it's consistent. You can change the color of the line pretty easily, thickness of the line, dotted or not. Okay, so that's how you do that. You just close out of that. Another one that I use is the arrow. Let's say you're identifying where price needs to go to the up or downside. Maybe you want to look at, let's go to the BTC chart. This may be a little easier. So again, I'm going to go to my favorites, toggle that back. Maybe I go to the daily. Okay, I got my arrow. If you want to identify where price needs to go to at a certain point, like you're waiting for price to break out above this double top right here, you can do that as well. Again, any direction, as long or as short as you need. Change the color. Okay, and again, thickness of the line, whether it's dotted or not. Okay, and then we'll just delete that. Okay, another one that I use is the parallel channel. Okay, so you want to identify maybe when something needs to break out to the upside or the downside of a current channel that it's in. You could do that by identifying where that channel may be. Okay, so right here it's pretty clear Bitcoin was in a downward trend channel. It broke out to the upside after testing it, broke down, broke out. Okay, tested the trend channel, came down, and now it's struggling again here at the 9,000 to 9,300 price level. So same thing with the trend channel. If you want to change the border, change the border. If you want to change the actual color of it, you can. Right here you can change how dark or light the actual channel is. Okay, pretty neat. Okay, and these are just some of the tools that I use quite frequently. And there's some other ones in there, but those are the ones that I use the most. Trend line, horizontal line, arrow, and parallel channel. Now coming down over here, there's a lot of different supplementary indicators you're not going to find up here. But again, these are drawing chart tools. These require a little more finesse and I'd say art versus exact science, because they're not predicated on predetermined numbers that you set. They're predicated on levels that you identify and use with the tool that's given, if that makes sense. So the one that I really use the most in this is the Fibonacci Retracements, and we'll talk a little bit about that on a different training session. So right here is where you can start to add different shapes and identify levels in another format. Brush, if you want to brush, that's where you can draw. So again, you can change the color and the thickness. Okay, so you can draw anything that you want. Maybe you identify a cup and handle formation. Goes like that. Okay. Right here, we want to go to erase. We'll erase these. Okay, make sure you come back up here to cross. It'll give you the cross for your cursor. Rectangle. Rectangle is really good too. You can identify levels of support and resistance. So if we're on the 1 hour, we were really looking for price to break out of a certain point. Click, can drag, goes thick or as little as you want. There's a lot of different ways to use these tools. Okay, and then same thing, can change the color. Okay, can change the thickness of it, whatever you need. Okay, rotated rectangle, don't use too much. Ellipse, I use quite a bit. So if I identify a level of support and resistance that price is really struggling at, like right here was a 382 Fibonacci retracement zone that price broke down at, and I wanted to share my chart with somebody, I could identify where that is. Okay, can make it as thick or as small as you want. You can rotate it if you need to. If you want to change the color, you can do that as well. You want to change the thickness of the color, you can do that here. Okay. Curve is really good. I use this to identify double tops, double bottoms, maybe head and shoulders. So right here we had kind of a mini unrefined head and shoulders pattern forming, right? So, you could identify, there's a head, right click on this what you can do is you can clone that rather than go back up here and search for it again. So you can clone it. And clone again. So we got kind of a mini Head and Shoulders that broke down. So if you're looking at maybe where the support was that you wanted to see it hold, you might identify this level right here. Okay. Going back to some of the tools now that we've shown you. Why is that? Because price was rejected to the downside right there. Price was again rejected to the downside right there and held. Rejected the downside right there and held. Okay, so this is clearly a point of contention for price right now. Okay, and if we extrapolate this out a little further, you can see the same thing to the right hand side. You can also see right here to the left hand side. Okay, so again, I don't want to dive too deep into the woods on reading chart patterns and understanding support and resistance, any of the strategy. I want to just talk to you about the tools, how to use them, and how to calibrate them, how to configure your chart to make life easier for you. And I really want to make sure that by doing that, I give you some examples in ways that you, in some situations, that you may want to apply some of these tools that you have available to you. The text box, pretty self-explanatory. Click anywhere that you want to write. Okay, and you can write. You can change the color of your text. So right here, you just click and move that. If you double click on it, okay, you can change the color. You can change, what kind of text that you want. Okay, and you can also increase the size. Double click. Got big, small. I usually like to do between 14 and 20 just to make it easier on the people that I share my chart with. Okay. So we'll close that for now. Another thing here that I want to show you guys on how to use is the call out box. Okay, so price broke down right here. You click, drag. Price broke down at the 382 fib. Okay. And what's really neat too is if you have, lots of words or text, you can do text wrap. If you don't do text wrap, you're going to get one long sentence run on. If you click text wrap right here, it's going to wrap that so that it's more refined and fits on the chart a little nicer. Okay. And same thing. Don't worry about visibility. Don't worry about coordinates for right now. Only look at style. And then if you want to change the color of the, change the color of the writing, you do that right here. If you want to change the color of the box itself, come to the border. It'll change the border of the box. Background, you can change that to anything that you like as well. So we're seeing some consistencies across their tools, even though the tools themselves may be vastly different. So that makes life a little bit easier. Continuing on, we have a price label. So a price label is really great. You can identify versus scrolling up or down and looking to the right hand side what price you're at, whether in Satoshis or dollars. In this case, we're on BTC US dollar pair, so it's dollars. You can just put a price box there and you can identify right where the price box is. All right, so maybe in this case, we're looking for price to break above this level right here, 90, we want to break above 9,400. Using some of the tools we had, I'll come to arrow. I'll start where price is now. Maybe draw an arrow to that. I don't like the dotted line, so I'm going to go back to straight. Maybe I don't like that color. Maybe I want green. Okay, so you can do that. Now, if you want to change the price box itself in any way, whether it's the text, the numbers, or even the background, double click. Okay, style, you can change the color of the text again, whatever you want. You can change the size of the text. Okay, you can change the background. Okay, obviously we wouldn't want to do that with red, so if I liked the red, I'd move to black. If I like the red border, but I want maybe, or red background, but I want maybe a black border, you can do that right there. If you do want to change the coordinates without moving it, you can do that as well. So we're at 9,400. Let's say I want to go to exactly 10,000. Type 10,000, hit OK. and then you notice that it moves it up to 10,000. Okay. Since we're on this right now, what I want to talk about is what I'd like to show you guys rather is if you double click on any of these panes, it'll eliminate the other one. So if I double click on my chart, it'll eliminate my RSI indicator. If I double click on my RSI indicator, it'll eliminate my chart. If you want to go to a full screen view, click this in the upper right hand corner and you can go to a full screen view. If you want to share your chart with somebody, very easy to do, and there's a lot of different reasons in which you'd want to share a chart. Maybe you're trying to talk to somebody about what you're seeing in terms of support and resistance. Maybe you're trying to identify and ask for advice for somebody on if you're reading the chart right. Lots of different reasons. You can screenshot your chart by going to this green camera in the upper right hand corner. One click, another click, copy the link, and then just paste it wherever you want to send it to somebody, in a chat box or in an email, whatever it may be. Okay, so this screen capture will take a picture of your chart as it stands at the time you capture it. So that's a huge important tool. There's a lot of different other things, options within this list. Don't really worry about too much of that right now. That's more advanced stuff. These are different patterns that you can identify as well. Maybe more advanced, don't worry about that. This tab right here has some important things that you can use. Most importantly, you can do a price range. Okay, so let's say I wanted to identify what the percent gain was on Bitcoin right here from April 12th, and you can see that down here. So right here to where it climbed this past weekend up to nearly 10,000, right? 99.87. We'll go 99.82. Click, drag. Okay, and now that's on there. So from April 12th to May 5th, Bitcoin gained 47.24%. Okay, and it's going to tell you that right there. Now, if you double click on this numbers button right here, you can change the color of your background as well. Okay, and again, you can change the thickness. Okay, I like to just keep it at the regular one or the default options. Okay, if you want to get rid of it, click delete. If you want to just simply measure, measuring tool is awesome. You just click and drag and you can measure what the percent gain to the upside is. Start low, swing high. If you want to measure what a decline is, start high, swing low, and it's going to tell you. So Bitcoin lost 10% from these two dates right here. The second you click away though, it doesn't stick. If you want that price range to stick, that's where you'd use this button right here. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Those are the fundamentals. There's a couple other things that are really noteworthy that you'll want to understand in terms of maybe connecting your API keys. We'll talk about that in a later session. In closing, what I'd like to do is just let you know that you can unmerge and merge different panes that you have. So right here you have your volume. Let's say you didn't want that within your chart, you wanted that in a separate pane. You just right click on one of your bars, and if you wanted to unmerge it down, you click unmerge down and it unmerges it down. Let's say you want your RSI for whatever reason, you wouldn't, but just as an example, you wanted to merge this up, you can merge that up. And then if you wanted your RSI on this chart, on your price chart, you would just keep merging it up. Okay. Let's say you wanted your RSI above your price or below your price chart, but above your volume, you would go unmerge down. Okay. And then that's how you do that as well. So you just right click and it's either merge up and it'll merge the two, merge down, it'll merge the two, or unmerge. A lot of people ask me how to get rid of if they want this blue cloud on your volume. You go to right click on format, or again, what you can do is you can come here to volume, you can click the format box, okay? And if you go to inputs, it says show moving average. That blue cloud on your volume bars, that's just the moving average of the volume. So you just show it or not, entirely up to you. Okay, I personally don't like it. So if I wanted to reset this, I'm gonna go merge up. merge up. Okay. Format, oh, sorry. And we'll go merge up. Okay, and then we are back to where we started. Okay. If you want to increase the amount of bars or decrease the amount of bars that you see in your chart on your mouse, it's simply the scroll bar. Pretty easy. If you want to drag to create more space to the right hand side, you can do that. Just click and drag your chart, and that's about it for right now. So that wraps up Satoshi Saint's first introductory video to Coinigy. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at CryptoDeNiro. You can also find us on our website, www.satoshisaints.com. Hope you'd enjoy. Happy trading. Bye-bye.